Film the police Portland. I'll do it again because Bob's phone just started.
They want to play, but they don't
Look
want
at
to
this.
Hey,
Okay.
Everybody's been having trouble with the internet.
Oh yeah. Mike Blue here recording for Film the Police Portland. It is 3/11, Wednesday, November 9th. And I am here with Patty Yates.
Dietz.
Patty Dietz. Bob gave me a story that piqued my interest almost a week ago. Can you relate that story to us?
too many leaders.
Yes, that was an incident that happened out front here almost 20 years ago. Actually, it was 1998, I believe, involving a man that had been around the neighborhood and ended up on my bench out here.
Right, and the name of this business is what and the address?
Patty's Home Plate Cafe, 8501 North Boulevard.
So there's a gentleman on the bench outside.
Right, with blue theater makeup on.
Okay.
The length of the story that I got, I know what happened here, but what happened before I got to this point was he had this theater paint on. He went to Burgerville. They wouldn't let him in to use the bathroom. He went into Slim's. Slim's doorman tried to kick him out. He said he had to use the bathroom, and he said he didn't care, get the F out. And so he went outside and urinated on our building. And so they called the police. He went down to Safeway and he bought a 6-pack of beer. He came out, he went into the curio cabinet shop that was down here and was in there about 20 minutes and bought one of the old aluminum steins with the plastic bottom.
Yeah, like the German beer steins.
Steins.
Okay, yeah.
And he came up here, he had a paper bag, and evidently he opened one of the beers and put it in there, was sitting out there drinking when the police came.
Okay.
And they came right up to the edge of the curb with their car. And I was making a sandwich and I looked up and I saw this gun muzzle.
And so you were right here in the kitchen there, and
Right.
you could see right out the window.
Right.
And,
No, it was up over to the side here on the bench.
Okay, so you looked out the
And
window and you saw they had a gun on it.
that shelf was not there at the time, so you could see right outside. So I
Okay.
came back and told my customers we needed to get to the back of the store. And then I went back and they were still pointing a gun at somebody, which if you were a panic person would look like me. But anyhow,
Was
so
it a pistol or a long rifle? What's
No,
that?
it was a pistol.
Okay.
So we came to the back of the store, and here comes all these police cars, and the sergeant parked in front here. And they were getting everybody coming in and told me to get out of the building, that the guy had a bomb under the bench,
Whoa.
in the bag that was under the bench. And so we cleared the building out, and there ended up being about 200 people in the street. There was probably about, I don't know, 15 cops.
So they must have called Portland CERT, like the SWAT team, and bomb
Well, I don't
disposal,
know.
all
The
that
sergeant had a
crazy
big beanbag shotgun in the back of his car.
stuff? Okay.
And he had one of the policemen come over and get it. And then they had 2 women police that were guarded by the man policeman over there with mace, and they sprayed him with, they inched their way to him. And they told us he was armed also. And
So that's 4 officers approaching him real close.
Right.
Okay. And
and the 2 women sprayed him with the mace, and he
Okay.
just rubbed it away.
Right.
Because they
Did it
just
affect him at
continued.
all?
I'm sure it did somewhat, but not to his visibility from
Okay.
across the
Some
street.
people are pretty immune to that.
Right.
believe it or
Well, they
not.
had us clear across the street, so I mean, he just looked like he wiped it away, and
Right.
they kept telling him to put down the weapon and get on the ground, and nobody saw any weapons.
Did you
but-
see any weapons in his hand?
No.
Wow.
And anyhow, so the helicopters came from the news channels and everything, and when the sergeant opened his trunk to give. When he came, the police officer came to get the shotgun out of the car, I actually could see him with the thought of death in his eyes.
Okay.
And so,
So he was
took the
reaching for,
shot-
he was getting a less lethal shotgun at that point.
He was getting a beanbag,
Yeah, okay. yeah,
which
that-
they
that-
shot him with.
Okay,
like
so they shot him with
9
less
times.
lethal. Nine
Times.
beanbags. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
First,
lot.
and it was like he leaned across the side of the police car and fired from there, which is not, it's about 9 feet.
Okay.
Lethal is anything below 20.
Right. With less
And they
lethal.
shot at his sternum and they missed it by about an inch.
Okay.
There was, that one right by the sternum was really deep. It was bleeding and stuff. But anyhow, the sergeant came in here and helped himself to donuts while we were all outside. Came out
Wait,
and ate
without permission? He didn't ask you?
No, I was across the street. He got us all out of here.
Wow.
So at that time we had donuts underneath a plastic lid for everybody in the morning.
Wow.
And anyhow, they kept telling him to put down the weapon unit, and then they shot him. And
9 times with Leslie.
well, first 7 times in the chest area, and then they got him on the ground, and shot him in the legs.
So he fell to the ground and they shot him in the legs.
Yes.
So 3
Because
more times.
he wouldn't roll over. He would be in wherever his head was at.
And no eyewitnesses, or you saw any
Oh, there was
weapons?
about 200 of us.
I know, but none of them saw any weapons.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Wow. What is this? What was this man's name?
I don't remember. I mean, we
Okay.
were never actually told.
Okay.
Because
no
what
one
they
ever.
were telling us was the same with the bomb threat.
Right.
This was a escapee from a prison in California. He had an orange ankle bracelet on, which he didn't have.
No one saw that.
No, I was right there when he was
Okay.
on the ground when they were working on it.
Okay. How many feet away were you when you saw this individual?
At that point on the ground,
Yeah.
not very far, because the police did a circle around him, because when the ambulance come, the ambulance driver, first he threatened the guy on the ground, if you stood on my face, I'll make sure you don't make it. And the second thing he said was, you need to hurry up and get this over with before you have to leave him here and call the coroner. So,
Wow. So they're
so-
conspiring out
and the
loud
thing is
right in front
that
of
the
you
circle,
to
well,
murder
they didn't
him.
know I was there. They had
Right.
a circle around him, and I'm so short, I just bent over and was watching everything through the hole in between.
Wow.
So anyhow, there was blood on the ground, and I picked some of the paper slices up off the bean bags. And anyhow, so of course all the reporters came, and of course we were here, so they asked me, and I told them that to me they had deliberately shot him to kill him, because that's just what I saw. And
Did AMR transport him, or was it the coroner? Was it the
no, oh
medical
no, they
examiner?
got him. They got him to the hospital.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
So
they
AMR
took him-
did transport him. Okay.
Right, right. And anyhow, we kept trying to inquire about him, and they kept telling, well, he's crazy, and he's in that, in that house area, and you can't get any information on him. And anyhow,
Oh, for his protection, right?
right, supposedly.
Right.
So
Denying public access to data about someone they're killing for his protection. That's wonderful.
well, when you put anybody in that area of a hospital like that, you can't find out any information.
Right. Right.
So.
Very convenient for them.
So anyhow, the newspaper, Willamette Week and all them came and talked to me, and I told them what I saw, and I told them, I took them out and showed the blood on the sidewalk and stuff. And anyhow, so then the sergeant came back here, and he had told me that I needed to retract my statement, that there was no bullet.
Wait. The donut munching sergeant
Yes.
that walked into your private property
Right.
and helped himself to rob you.
Yes.
Okay. Same. Do you remember the sergeant's name?
No. It's been too many years.
I understand, but please continue your story. It's-
Well, anyhow,
It's
and,
important, everything
and
is
what I
important.
had told them was about the holes, the Willamette Weekly and that, they were reading about the holes he had in his chest and stuff.
And you saw the blood bleeding holes in
Yes.
his
Oh
chest.
yeah, when
right
there
by
was
his
blood
side.
on my sidewalk when they picked him up and left.
Okay.
And so the paper asked me if we'd been able to find out anything, and I said no. So they tried to find out something, and they called me back and they said they couldn't find out anything either. It was just like he disappeared. But when the sergeant came in and started talking to me, he said, you need to retract your statement for the paper. And I said, no, I'm not going to. I know what I saw. Well, no, you don't know what you saw, because every bullet hole has an exit wound. He had no exit wounds. I said, that's not true either. Sometimes the bullet doesn't come out. Sometimes it
absolutely.
remains in your body.
Absolutely.
And I
But,
said, and
but all
I,
you saw was less lethal shots, right?
yeah, that's what I,
Okay.
to me, that's the way I felt.
Okay.
That's the look
All right.
I got out of that
Right.
guy's eyes that took the shot.
Okay.
So,
But less lethal can kill you at that range. You say 9 feet or 12 feet. 9 feet, hitting you in the head, it can kill you. I mean, they're risking his life every time they fire it. You know,
it
it's
ended,
called less lethal because a certain percentage of the people that get hit by it die.
it also
Right.
ended
It's
up,
not non-lethal.
it also
It's
ended
not.
up being out here, they found a steak knife in his front pocket. And the bag under the bench, it was supposed to be a bomb, was a 6-pack of beer with one empty bottle in it.
Okay, so he has a steak knife in his pocket, but never wielded it.
Yeah, so in the long run, because of the police, that story got all changed, because when he left Slim's and went to Safeway and got his beer and came out, supposedly he threatened one of the dispatchers for the police department with his weapon. So But
Right.
originally they were called for a person urinating on the building, which is exposing yourself in public indecency, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, that's the same
So-
BS excuse they made for the murder of James Chassie Jr. is that they alleged that he was urinating in public, which turned out to be a lie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that they use the same, you know, propaganda effort on that part.
Yeah.
Is there any details you can remember? The dates? The
If I
year?
find a newspaper article, I can tell you for sure.
Can
I
you?
would love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any detail that you didn't cover about this story?
Just that we never could find out anything, and then when they finally decided to tell us something, they said that they put him on a bus and sent him back to California, and he was so happy that we found him. Well, which is it? Is he an escaped convict with an orange ankle bracelet, or is he just
Right.
a nutcase and his family's dead? You found him, so you put him on a bus by himself and put him back
Right.
to California.
None of this
None of it
adds
makes
up.
sense.
Yeah,
Could
none
you-
of it adds up.
could-
Can you tell me about how was there any further harassment to you and your business after
Yes.
this sergeant
Yes.
of
When I
Portland Police
told him
Bureau?
I would not change my mind, he said that he would make sure that if I was robbed, there'd be no police sent. That if I needed the police for any help at all, that they would never be here for me. They used to come by the back of the building and sit there and write down my license plate or poke it in to see if I had any parking tickets that were outstanding or anything. Same with my husband's truck.
Wow.
So-
How long did this continue? Does it still happen?
Well, they don't come in here to eat or anything.
Okay.
Every time one of them stops in that's new on the force, and we get to kind of know them a little bit. Seems like they're not here anymore with
Oh,
no
okay.
excuses. But
Well, the Blue Brotherhood does take care of its own, and they are
Right.
very good about making sure that a lot of information and that they isolate themselves behind that blue wall.
Well, I
I've seen
did-
this pattern before.
yeah, I did have a shoplifter one time, and they did come and take him away.
Okay, so you had.
But I locked him in the building, so.
Oh, so they had no choice. Right. Okay.
so.
Wow. So are you cool with me sharing this on my YouTube channel and trying to dig more information or trying to find out more about the story? Are you-
Yeah, you can
Okay.
find it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do what I can to try to figure it out. There's not a whole lot of details, but yeah, the one thing that jumps out at me is the repetitive use of less lethal at such a close range.
Well, and that's what I asked him too.
Yes, yeah, those things will kill. They will kill. If he was hit in the artery in his neck, for instance, you know, or external, internal carotid or jugular, or hit in the head, he could have been killed right there. You know, I think what 9 total shots, 7 while he's standing and 3 while he's laying on the
Well, he was
ground.
sitting on the bench.
Sitting on the bench, correct.
And
Correct, thank you.
not that many dropped him down, but he
Right.
wasn't on his knees. And he
So
wasn't
7
in
to
the
shoot him when
rollover on your stomach.
7 to
position.
make him get off the bench, and then 3 more as he was laying.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's kind
Plus,
of
it would maybe 6.
that's a horror show. I wish that I didn't know more stories like this, but
Yeah.
just thank you for sharing.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
I was going to go in the office to do something, and I might.